This is the messy middle. Last month, I indulged myself into a research of the search trends on Google and the behavioral aspects of consumers, or I should say buyers. I found a weird thing. People purchase a lot but buy less every time. Every consumer has a purchase journey which looks something like that diagram I showed you earlier. While I was working on it, Think with Google came with its study regarding the messy middle. The term was given by them. As they say, the internet street is a biggest shopping district for everyone. It's the largest district you have ever seen, right? You don't have to go anywhere. Whichever shop you need, it pops right in front of you. So the shopping behavior has a major challenge for the marketers. Nowadays, marketing has developed new ways to reach out to the right customer with the right product or service at the right time in the right manner. In this study, a statement by Think with Google regarding these basic behavioral instincts is, instincts formed by thousands of years of scarcity are supercharged with a wealth of opportunity and choices. My video is all about the mental processes a marketer sees in the shopping behavior of the people in this abundance of web. It's about how consumers deal with scale and complexity using cognitive biases encoded in our pre-digital history. So in all this, a question pops up in the mind: how the consumer decides what they want to buy and who they want to buy from. But no matter how much we excel in measuring the advertising results by Google Analytics or any other tool in the market, understanding the consumer purchase journey is a little tough. So, Think with Google created a team and embarked it on a multi-pronged project to understand the consumer purchase journey. It is termed as the messy middle. It is a space of abundant information and the unlimited choices that shoppers have learned to manage using the cognitive shortcuts. And the behavioral architects began to notice how seamlessly consumers switch between the complementary states of exploration and evaluation. We'll get back to them later. So what the architects did was, they observed several hundred hours of shopping tasks in 310 purchase journeys across 31 categories. Journeys were recorded on screens through screen recorders, and the conclusion was that spaghetti design which I showed you earlier. That means there is no typical journey of a consumer. What consumers did was, they switched back and forth on different shopping sites, different video portals, different review sites, and in some cases they changed their product choice midway. So at last it all comes down to two mental modes: evaluation and exploration. Adding the products, brands or deals into the mental portfolios is exploration, but evaluation on the other hand is narrowing down the choices and which have chosen, or the products you have chosen. I'm sure all the digital marketers and advertisers have gone through the McKinsey's consumer decision making model once in a lifetime, right? So what it states that a loyalty loop is introduced after the active evaluation stage, which updates the decision making. It reflects a less linear active process. And as the advertisers know, there is a big difference between giving a consumer information and turning it into a sale, right? And our consumers have all the power in the world. Any bad information, any wrong information could create a disaster for a brand. Now let's get some science behind the exploration and evaluation processes. The behavioral architects of Think with Google explained this with the theory of information foraging. Now what it means? It simply means humans try to reduce the energy expenditure while maximizing gains. So after applying all the theories, the behavioral architects reached to this model. So that's the new consumer journey model. As you can see, the messy middle sits between the twin poles of trigger and purchase, in which consumers create a loop between exploring and evaluating. As the model states, it all happens inside the circle of exposure, which represents the thoughts and perceptions of the shopper. And finally, the experience matters. So this is a new marketing model, or we can say the purchase journey marketing model. But the old models can't be left out. The MOT, the DAGMAR, the ADA, they are all necessary to influence the consumers. Let's pick the terms now. As for the basic English, you all know the meaning of exposure. But in the case of marketing, it relates to the awareness. Everything we see, listen about a brand or a product influence our perception. All the exposure is created by the sum total of all the advertising we have seen or heard out in the public or on the press or online, right? Look, there are lots of choices out there, and people roll over and over, creating a loop of exploration and evaluation between searching and finalizing the product. Now what consumers do? They explore many options and expand their knowledge, and then either sequentially or simultaneously they narrow down their choices. I personally always hang around this loop stage. Now in all this, the marketers have a challenge that the shopper stops flip-flopping between these two states and select their product, and their product wins. Because this loop actually frustrates the advertisers, but the consumers love the loop. But the advertisers can't force them out of the loop. They have to provide them the necessary information so that they can feel comfortable about the product or the service. Now let's take the experience part. Simply, if the product or service is good, then the consumer will come back again and do business with you. But if the product or service is bad and the impression is bad, then the advertisers have to work hard to do the business with that consumer again. At last, every awesome marketing and advertising creates a trigger for a purchase. It helps the consumer move from a passive state into an active state. Now I have to indulge myself into my own purchase journey and I have to buy a new t-shirt. Bye.